Hi, Art.
Hello, Miss Darraneika. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Long time no see.
I know it's been a little bit, hasn't it?
Yes.
Just a little bit. Well, welcome. Thanks for doing this for.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm like, oh my God, such short notice, but okay.
Hey. What do you need a lot of notice for? You're just gonna talk about you being you,
Okay. I'm
right?
drinking water.
Oh, I thought it was vodka, like in class.
No, just water. How is everything?
Rocking and rolling. You know how we go, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Doing our thing every day. Mark,
Every day.
right?
Yes. Oh my God.
What were you cooking this morning? What was the list?
Oh, I just baked some chicken today. The kids wanted some more red mashed potatoes and corn. Some simple and easy.
I was like, "What's this list? It's a Wednesday. It's a Thursday. The list doesn't come out till Sunday.
Oh,
What are
God.
you doing on a Thursday?"
Just bacon chicken.
All right, that's fine.
Chicken.
You know, I'm always hungry when I read your posts like that.
Oh
I
God.
always, I always think, boy, if I could just find Darrenika's house on a Sunday and just show up,
It just show up.
there'd be plenty of food, I'm sure. Because
Oh, it's more than enough. Oh God. I already have two greedy boys, so one more wouldn't hurt. No.
no. Big fat guy shows up. They're like, "Hey, I think Santa Claus is here, and he's looking for some food."
For sure. Oh,
Well, welcome. Hello, everybody.
thanks for having me, Art. I was like, oh, he keeps bringing me back. I must be doing something right.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, you know, you're one of my favorite student stories, success stories. And so I always like to share that with our students, especially as we were dealing with some of the new changes that have gone on and that kind of thing. So I want us to talk a little bit about that. So, all right, welcome everybody else. How y'all doing tonight? Glad you're here. Is everybody excited? Put yes in the chat box or feel free to yell out, yes, Gaga, whatever.
Yes, Gaga.
Whatever trips your triggers, babies. We're glad that you're here. Thank you all for spending time with us tonight. So, for those of you who don't know me, because some of you are thinking about taking real estate classes, my name is Art Batuzzi. I am the lead instructor for I Love Real Estate School. A lot of you are in school with us or have been in school with us, including our guest, Darraneika, who's been a student in the past. I've been a real estate broker for over 30 years. I've closed $1.1 billion in real estate, over 7,000 properties nationally. And my job, as far as I'm concerned, is to do three main things. Number one is to make sure that our students pass the state exam, right? That's the whole purpose of our course, is to make sure you pass the state exam. Number two, if I can be helpful in terms of helping our students choose a brokerage, I'm happy to do that as well. I give you all the 54 questions to ask so that you understand that you're interviewing companies as much as they're interviewing you. And then number three, I love to see the success that our students have had. And I love to bring students, previous students back so that current students and future students will understand that this is a business that you can succeed in if you do the work. So all of you who've been in class understand, I say that all the time, you got to do the work. You do the work, you can't help but to be successful, right? And my friend here, Darraneika, is one of those people who not only took the class, not only passed the state exam, but she has done the work every day in, day out. Now, some people say, well, Art, how do you know that? Well, because Art follows her on social media. And if I don't know, there's maybe a handful of students, total of 5, and Darraneika is one of them, who are as consistent with their social media as she is. And so we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about Darraneika's success and how she's done that. Because if I remember, Darraneika, it's what, 4 years now?
Yes, it's been 4 long years.
So wait, let me introduce her officially. This is Darraneika Lacy. She's with Coldwell Banker, and she has been a broker for 4 years.
Yes.
So welcome. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to
Oh,
talk to our students or future students. We
you're
appreciate you.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. I mean, this is a great field to be in. It is work, but if you work it, it will pay off.
Excellent. So 4 years ago, you took the class, passed the state exam. And then did you have a background in real estate? Were you somebody that's family was in real estate? Like all of
I did not have a background in real estate. My godmother was in arts class. She had took his class and passed. And when I went on maternity leave with my second son, she was like, "You should go get your real estate license." And I was like, "Okay." So when I was on maternity leave, I took arts class, passed my state boards, and I've been selling ever since.
excellent. So it's not like you had a background in this. It's not like you had people who could, hey, we're just going to give you the keys to the car. You're go drive it.
No, I had nobody I could ask questions. I'm not a second or third generation realtor. I am the first realtor in my family. I had no one that I can call. My godmother, we learned this thing together. I started off at like a small, just boutique brokerage. And that was really cool. But it was just too small. And then like, cause the more you sell, you just need more resources. So then I transferred over to EXP. I excelled there very quickly. I even got 100% of my commission. And then with all the recent changes, I decided to go to more so of a household name just because of where I'm trying to take my business. Because now I am more consistent with cold calling. And it's just an easier, recognizable name versus something that's only been around for a few years.
Okay, so let's go back to the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So when you started in this boutique agency, what kind of resources did they have to get you up to speed to train you? Because you know how big I am about the training that companies provide, right?
Yes.
And how that's going to help you to be successful in this business over the long term. So, we don't necessarily need to name the company, but what kind of training did you get? What did you like? What didn't you like?
So, my managing broker, she was heavily involved. Like she's part of Main Street. So she was very hands-on. She had like a lot of recorded videos, but it was just more so like step by step. She would have office meetings and I would show up. And she was, available to help if we needed help. So that was pretty cool. What I didn't like about the boutique brokerage was more so the resources. When you start out, I will honestly say you don't really know what you need. You're figuring this thing out and what kind of like works for you and kind of like flows for you. So I wouldn't say it's a right or wrong answer. It's more so about what do you think your immediate need is and what are you looking for?
Give me an
So
example. Give me an example of that because are you talking about do I need signage? Give me what you're talking. Give me an example.
like me, I am a self-starter, self-motivator. So as long as I have access to all of the material, I'll go through it, I'll read it, I'll, watch the videos, I've taken every MLS training there is, so that I can learn and then apply. But I know that some people they're like, well, hey, I need it more so hands-on. So every brokerage is not gonna be hands-on. Sometimes your managing broker is just not available. So you have to really make sure like that's something you can be okay with because if they're running hundreds and hundreds of agents, sometimes if you're new and you feel like, well, they're not helping me because I'm not producing or something like that, you can get those vibes too.
Yeah. But in terms of the resources that would take you to the next company,
Yeah.
what did the next company have that the current company didn't have?
So at the small boutique brokerage, they only had like Lions Desk, which was like a really basic CRM. It didn't really do
Okay, so hang on, says not everybody knows the
okay.
lingo.
Oh,
So
okay.
CRM is a customer relations management system. So this is what you're going to use, people, to stay in contact with
With
your client base. And those of you who've been on masterminds before with me, I talk about the fact that you need to learn how to let the technology do the heavy lifting for you. And
yes.
that's by using a CRM system that will keep in constant contact with your clients. All right, go ahead.
Yep. So Lion Desk was just super basic. I don't know if we were I don't think she really trained us on it, but it was just like, okay, you put your clients in there, bam, that's it. Then when I moved over to EXP, they they were still new. So like we had our CRM too, but at that point I was so busy selling. I don't think I really took advantage of maybe like the CRM that they offered. Cause sometimes you just kind of like you get so many clients, you're just going with the flow. Well, now I'm at a steady flow, and I went over to Coldwell, and we have a CRM. We have Moxie, we have Real Scout, and everything. As long as you're putting all of your clients in, the system is kind of like doing the work for you. So if you have your clients' birthdays on their birthday, they're sending out the happy birthday emails. Father's Day, Mother's Day, like all of this stuff is like clockwork. So I know if you have, maybe if you live in a subdivision and that a realtor may have your email and you're like, how are they just sending me this on this day? It's all automated. It's a lot of tools and resources available to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So go back to your first year. So what was your production in your first year? Not your commission, but your production. What'd you sell?
My first year, I sold like 2 million. Wasn't
Okay.
a lot. But that second year, when I went to EXP, oh boy,
Yeah.
oh boy.
What was your second year?
6 million.
6 million. Excellent. Okay. Now, did it take you 2 years to get your first deal?
No, it did not. So, I got licensed in February. In April, I had client, a relocation client that was moving to Chicago that I had to help. And I had to help them find something in one weekend.
Wow.
Yep.
So I asked that facetiously because she just told us in her first 2 years, she sold $8 million of real estate. And this is really for our students and future students. When you go out there and you meet these designated managing brokers who say to you, you're not going to make any money for the first 2 years, and you better have money, all this money set aside because you're not going to make any money. In fact, somebody's on here that in his interview, if I'm right, they told him, you're not going to get your first closing for a year.
Oh,
And you would say it again?
I would run away.
There you go. You would run away. And the idea is because the in the DMB's defense, they're trying to be realistic, right?
Mhm.
And certainly this is an industry where, 70% of the people are in and out of real estate within a year, right? But
Mhm.
that means there's 30% of the people who are sticking around.
Yep.
And so you could be one of the 70%, or you could be one of the 30%, like Darraneika is. So my point is, don't ever let anybody tell you how long it's going to take you to get a deal. You've all heard me talk about success in 60 days and, getting your first deal in your first 60 days, because then in your mind, you've proven that you can do it. And obviously 2 million in her first year and 8 million total in her first 2 years, she knew she could do this. Now,
Yes. I've
did
never had a problem getting clients. I've never
Okay,
had
so
a problem.
let's talk about that. Did you sit at home on your couch and just wait for deals to fall in your? Is that what you did, Darraneika?
No, when I didn't have any clients, this is what I did. I started learning the business to prepare. So, like I said, I've taken every MLS class there is, learned how to write the contract, and then I started interviewing people so on my social media. So I would interview attorneys, interview lenders. If I didn't know like what to ask, I would just come up with questions and say, before we got on live, like, what do you think of this? Go with the conversation flow as well, because you'll start getting like your friend, your Facebook friends or your social media friends, whatever platform you're on, they're gonna join and they'll start asking questions too. But bring people on. It's not about having all of the answers, but bring people that's been in the industry for a while and ask them, even if it's just basic questions, ask them. The conversation will flow. I even do it now. With changes, if anything changes, like in the lending process, I'll bring a attorney on. I'll bring a lender on. Whoever is needed. You can interview a home inspector. You can ask around like, hey, can I interview you so that you could just get your feet wet. You just want to look like the go-to person. Like, hey, I got a person for this. I got a person for that, so that it's easier for you.
So, is it fair to say that you started basically within your own sphere,
Yep.
and then you just, expanded your sphere through your social media efforts? Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
Okay. So going back to your CRM, how often does your CRM touch your client base? Or how often do you?
So with Coldwell Banker, so every month we have something called a Clients for Life. So you put in a raffle for like a gift card. Then they keep up with like every holiday that whatever is going on that month, they're touching it. So probably like 4 times. And then I still call my clients too. I call everybody, hey, how are you? You know, anybody want to buy or sell? Anything anyone invites me to, kids' birthdays, barbecues, all that good stuff, I do show up. If you invite me, I'm coming.
Okay, so why?
Well, because I do, honestly, everybody who I've worked with so far, I really enjoy working with them. And I just want to get to know their family and friends so they can buy or sell with me.
Okay, so let's talk about that as an effective method of expanding your sphere, right? Because when you have the client, so you've helped that client buy or sell real estate, right? And they invite you to their home, you get to meet their sphere.
Yes.
And don't the people that you worked with say, "Oh my God, you got to talk to Darraneika because she's the one who's responsible for this."
They pretty much are like your hype person. They're so grateful because everybody's journey to the closing table is not different. Some it's a breeze, some is like, oh my God, I don't know if we're gonna make it. So it all depends on their journey, but everyone is always so grateful and thankful because a lot of people don't think they can own a home till they actually get the key.
Right, right. And so have you primarily worked with first-time home buyers, or is it a mix? What have you been working with?
It's a mix right now. First time, second time, retirees. It's all a mixture of people.
Okay. And what do you say to a person? Because I hear this, Art, I don't have a sphere. I don't know anybody. I'm just moved to the area, or I don't go out of the house.
That's the best opportunity. Because the people who start mailing, start going out, research what's going on in the neighborhood because believe it or not, the people that live in the area, they're tired of the same realtor, Susie and Bobby, who sells every house in the neighborhood. They don't want them to come sell their house. And I know that sounds like really cliche, but they don't because they know everybody already. And it's like, well, I don't want that person in my business. She knows that person. She knows that person. Like, I know some of this stuff that like you'll hear, it just sounds like, no, that's not true. It is. They don't want to work with everybody.
That's very
They're
true.
look- they're looking for a fresh face.
Excellent. So getting out there in the community, talking to people. I mean, again, I hear that all the time. Well, there's these two realtors that control the whole area, and I'm never going to get business. And you're telling me that's not true.
That is not true.
See, I hope you guys are realizing that a lot of the stuff that you tell yourself is what's going to block you from being successful in this business. It's just that simple. Until you get started, until you get out there and actually do the work, you're not going to know. You can think all you want that Bobby and Susie got all the clients, but there are some people that don't like Bobby and Susie. And like
Mm,
she said, you're the fresh face. You're somebody that they go, hey, they don't really work hard for their clients. You're going to work hard for me. I know it.
yep. They probably think like, well, they already have so much business. What are they going to do for me? You have to be careful with that too, because the person that has dominated the area, believe it or not, their service is not always the best.
Okay. By the way, I'll break out as I see questions come in. So we said, did you have a price range that you had in mind when you started in your first year? Median, am I going to focus on folks who have 200,000 budget for their purchase? So what did you work with that first year?
So the first home I sold, it was for 250. I think it was anywhere from like 250 to like 500K.
In year one?
In year one, yeah, for sure.
And did that increase at all in year two?
Yeah, it's increased to about 750,000 now. It's probably like me, um, 350 to like 750.
Okay. Okay. But if
But
somebody walked in the door and wanted your help to buy $100,000 property,
oh yeah, I've sold $100,000 properties. Pretty much sell anything. Um, but don't get hung up on the price, right? I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret. I don't know how many of you guys have access to the MLS. The big
none yet.
If you're on the listing side, the bigger the purchase price, and depending on the area, the longer the property sits. Okay. So I know some people want to be $1 million agents. You can get four $250,000 homes, list them, or get four buyers at 250 and make that same amount of money. So and quicker because it's more affordable versus carrying costs on those $1 million properties. Like, is it nice? Yes, to brag about, but you're in this to keep going and getting that paycheck.
For sure. And there's obviously more people in the buyer pool at the $250,000 range than there
Mhm.
is at the $1 million range, right?
That is
And
correct.
and here's the other thing. The higher the price the home, sometimes the more they're a pain in the ass. All right.
That is very true. High maintenance nut job, and I've had quite a few high maintenance nut job.
Okay. And that has a lot to do with the price. I mean, everybody feels their home is the best in the area, right? And they want, but again, if you're respectful and you do the work that you do for everybody, most people will go, yeah, this is great. Thank you so much. Where when you start to get to the higher end, folks, they've got all these expectations
Mhm.
that, you may not be willing to do. I mean, I'm not saying she's not. I'm sure you've done things you're like, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm doing it.
Exactly.
Right.
Oh, and then even yeah, like I had a deal last year, $680,000 house. Um, the listing side, they were getting a divorce. Every dollar mattered, and they had some really nice net proceeds. My buyer was very stuck, but this was a house I had took this man to see so many houses, him and his wife, and this was the house he was set on. He brought this house to me. I end up having to take a reduction on my commission so that they can buy the house so that the seller could be happy with the net proceeds.
Very nice of you. Not necessarily something I would have told you to do.
Right, but I listed their home and they bought that home. I think it was like 0.5 or something like that.
Oh,
But it's still,
so you got both ends. You didn't get buyer seller in the same deal. Your buyer was a seller.
yep.
So you got two sides of it. And you're like, you know what? For a
Yeah.
half a point, what the heck?
Yeah, but I know some people that would not have done that. People were like, "Oh, you're crazy," because it was a very hard deal. Um, that divorce was very nasty, and we were waiting like days for like responses. So my buyer was getting fed up, but I'm like, "Well, I got to keep this together because this is the only house you like. I'm gonna be back out here. You're not gonna like anything." So it was like, "What do you do?"
So that brings up an interesting point. You know, in this business, you wear many hats.
Hmm.
Everybody thinks, oh, all you people do is just open doors. But that is far from the truth, right? I mean, you wear a lot of hats, and there's sometimes you're wearing the psychologist hat, right?
A lot of the times.
Because you're in their business,
Hmm.
right?
Yes.
Every day you're living with them through what's going on in their lives. And whether they're selling or they're buying, these are still high stress situations for the majority of people. And you've got to learn as a broker how to handle that, how to juggle the expectations from either side that you're working with to be able to get the deal to go through. And a lot of times it's just keeping them focused on the prize.
Yep.
Would you say that that's accurate?
Yeah, and it's not always an easy task. That deal was very, very hard. He was like, I'll rather live in my motor home. And his wife was like crying and stuff, because their home was about to be closed on. And it was just, it was a lot. And I was just like, you know what, for a 0.5 of a difference, yeah, I'm not going back to the drawing board with these people.
Well, because there's a a time factor and a value of your time. And
Yes.
if you've already spent all this time with these people, the buyers, and you hadn't seen anything that they liked, and this was it, it's almost time to like cut your losses in that instance and say, you know what, for point 0.5, they're happy, and I don't have to drive them around to look at stuff that they don't want.
Oh yeah, because he had started like he like, oh, can you take me back out? And I'm like, I cannot do this again with you. And he was a contractor, and he would go in houses and rip them apart. And we hadn't even got to like the home inspection. So that's very, very stressful.
So I know I'm gonna regret asking this. How many houses did you show him before he actually bought this house?
So I had built that relationship since I had started selling real estate. Okay. And then we would go out year two, we would go out and look at homes. And then, he was like, "Oh, you should come over and give me a evaluation for my home." And then I end up listing the home that they were currently living in. And then that house popped up on the market, and yeah, he was like, "I want to buy this. This is my dream home." But when things was not going the way he wanted it, or like I said, the husband and wife had such a nasty divorce and it was just taking too long, and in his mind, it shouldn't have been that hard. Yeah, he was ready to walk away.
And that's the value of a great real estate broker, is being able to focus people on the prize, hold their hand through this, calm them down. Again, it's using one of the many, many hats that we have to be able to do this job effectively, right?
Yeah. Yes, and they had lived in their home that they bought before this one for 24 years, you know.
Oh, so they had an emotional attachment to it.
Yes, they had raised all three of their kids there. He had like really laid this house out. It was a lot going on. And the way he had the house laid out, this home that we found, the couple had custom built it, and it was very similar to the home they were moving from.
Wow.
But like I said, it was just such a bad situation on the list side that it was just like you just gotta hold on.
And you didn't handle this side. You were just repping the buyer, right?
Just representing the buyer.
Got it. Got it. But again, like you said, it's never the same thing twice in
No.
any.
Mm-mm. Not at all. I appreciate the deals that's just easy. Like, oh, this is just going too good. I love it. I could just go pick up my check. Yeah, they're clear to close. But
eh,
it is some deals you have to be involved in. You will become like a therapist.
Yep, absolutely. So let's talk about, the thing I was kidding you about when we first started, which is your social media.
Mhm.
Because as I said, I think Darraneika does a fantastic job with how she comes across on social media. And so why don't you tell everybody what platforms you're on and your thought process about this.
I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, and I do have a TikTok, but I'm not that active. I think that is for like the younger people. I haven't really figured out how to work TikTok like that. Um, but I'm trying to get there because that is another great platform that I know agents are capitalizing on. So really just Facebook, Instagram. I post a lot of reels on Instagram. Mainly like Facebook though. Like I like to tell people like what I'm doing today. Go live from time to time. Like I'll tell you like today I've been up since about 4:30. I've cooked dinner. I took my kids to school. I went to the office. I did listing photos. I did a lot of stuff today and now I'm on this call. Um, and that's been great because people it just makes it appear as if I'm busy like every single day, which I am. But what I've learned too is that as a real estate broker, even if people aren't liking or commenting, they watch you every day. So it's very important that you stay consistent. Don't fall off or don't say it's not working for me. I have a seller that she found well, one of her friends, she bought a home 3 years ago. One of her friends bought a house through me. She was unhappy with her agent from 3 years ago and did not want to use them. She said she reached out to me in May and sent me an email and said that she wanted to sell her home. This is how important it is to keep your social media going. She said she remembered that I sold her friend the home. Only thing she remembered was that my last name was Lacy. She said she took her time to find me on Facebook. She said she went through like her friends' photos, she went through her friends list, she said, and she couldn't find me. She was like, I don't know what I was doing wrong. And then she said she searched me, and that's how she found me. And I'm like, from 3 years ago? So people do watch. They really do. I've closed quite a few deals from people I did not know from social media because they're watching, even if they're not commenting, liking, they're following you. I've had people even tell me, um, I've watched you to see if you would stay consistent in your business before I reached out to you.
Yep. Didn't you tell me a story last year that there was a woman who did that? Maybe it's the same woman who
That's
had
a
just
different lady. Yeah.
pardon?
No, the story I just told, that's from this year. But yeah, it was a lady, she would watch me on Facebook every day. She would come on my page, and when she decided to buy a house, she told me like, I've been watching you and I wanted to make sure that you were going to stay consistent within your business, and I want to, work with you. And I stay consistent. It's really about just staying consistent. It all works if you work it. And sometimes I know as a new agent, like those words, it's like, look, I just need a paycheck. But your paycheck is out there. I don't know who it would come from, but all of it works. Like just try it.
And here's the thing and you know what? You should all make it a point to go follow Darrenika's Facebook for sure if you're on Facebook, Insta if you're not. But because I was kidding her, but she does a great job. What do you post? Maybe 2 times a day, sometimes three, depending upon what you're doing. But it's not these big long books or anything. It's short stuff like her food. Sunday's food day. And
Yep.
and so today I'm making, and if you look at the list of what she's making, that's what makes me say I want to go and hang out at her house because it sounds fantastic, right? From a fat guy who likes to eat. It's perfect. But it's not just, hey, look what I sold. Hey, use me to buy your real estate. Hey, it's not interruption marketing. It's stuff that makes people just stop scrolling for a minute, take a look at it. I love when you do. I'm on my way to a home inspection, or clear to close, or just that's it. It's not overly intrusive, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah,
And
and it doesn't have to be. I know some agents, it's pretty long and drawn out, but I learned like that works for them. I like to just keep it short and sweet. This is what's going on today.
well, because here's the thing though, Darren, people say to me, Art, I don't have time for all that social media stuff. It takes too long. Da, da, da. And I watch them sit on their phones for an hour flipping through stuff. No, you got the time. You got the time to slide out a post about where you're on. I'm going to show a home, or I'm going to look at homes with a new buyer client in, wherever you're going. That's it. It doesn't have to be anything overly explanatory. But like she said, it keeps people really just understanding that you're working.
Yep. That's the only thing you want them to know. I am working. Despite everything that I have going on, I'm a human. I got kids. I still have to do the day-to-day activities as well. And I'm going to go sell a house. So I'm going to help you find something within all my time to get it done.
Okay, so what percentage of your business would you say comes from your social media efforts?
Ooh, now it's probably like 50%. I think I've probably 50% social media, 50% referral. I have started hitting the phones. I go to the office every day and I've been calling, and calling works too. And I've never been one to like cold call. But I want to become more of a listing agent. And I've been hitting the phones and I've been getting great results.
Okay, so explain to them what it means hitting the phones. Who are you calling and what are you saying?
Dialing for dollars. No. So you're calling expires, pre-foreclosures, for sale by owners, canceled, to say, "Hey, I see, that your home was previously listed." You can ask them to come preview the home. Can I send you an evaluation? What do you think your last realtor did? Why would you hire your last realtor if, it didn't sell the first time? What do you think they're going to do differently this time around that they couldn't do the first time? You know, um to get in the door.
And you feel now, so how many hours you go in the office every day? How many hours a day do you spend
So
doing this?
so I dial from about 8:30 to 12:30.
So 4 hours a day.
Mhm.
Do you use an auto dialer? Do you use or is it just you working
So
from a local?
I started with Mojo Dialer, well, Mojo, and then you could just pull the list and upload it in your CRM. But I've upgraded to Vulcan 7 because I did need a dialer. But it's all Vulcan's data is a little better than
Oh,
Mojo.
hang on. So everybody understands. What an auto dialer does, is it dials the list that she puts in it. And if it gets a live person, it connects her. If it doesn't get a live person, does yours leave a message or no?
Yeah, you could leave a message.
You could leave a message, but the goal is these things are dialing to get to a live person. So she's not punching in the number. It's just like bam, bam, bam. And if she's on the phone having a conversation, the auto dialer is working in the back to get you another one, right?
Yep, that is.
So 4 hours a day.
Yep.
And what have your results been?
So far, I've set up 6 appointments, so that's really good. And
Yeah.
I have 4 listings coming.
So when did you start doing this?
About 3 weeks ago. I'm like, yeah, I never was really serious about cold calling because I didn't really like understand the concept or just didn't, or maybe not even more so of a process, I would say. Maybe you just need more so of a good process or like what do you say to someone when you get them on the phone? Nerves, jitters, but when you sit there and dial, like a lot of people do need the help. So it's like, okay, I can get through this. And a lot of people are not mean. I know people say they're mean. It is not. It's just getting through the door.
Now, what's interesting is she starts at 8:30.
Right. Most of the top producers start at 8 a.m. So I'm 30 minutes late.
Right. But here's the thing. Why? Why do people start that early?
They want the fresh expires. They just want to be on top.
Yep. And the early bird gets the worm, right? A lot of people will use the first broker they talk to. Okay,
Yep.
that's what you got to understand is statistics tell us that over 80% of the people use the first broker that they talk to. Somebody that is a real voice, not an email, not a text, somebody who's voice to voice. They will use that person to help them buy or sell. Um, and and again, it's consistency, right?
Yeah.
It's time blocking.
Mm-hmm.
So you
I
block your
used
time
to
every.
struggle with that too. The time blocking aspect of it. And then it was a mixture. Maybe the time blocking and just not having a system. I was just like, this is just terrible. Like, I don't like this. So, yeah.
But you got over it.
Oh, yeah, I did. I'm like, it's money on the phones. I would talk to agents. They're like, yeah, I closed, 20 deals off Vulcan 7. It all works
As long as you work it.
as long as you work it. Yep.
As long as you work it. Excellent.
Even
Now,
if I don't, you know what, I'm not thinking about selling. I do have like an expired like um presentation that I'll like, hey, can I drop something off at your door? And if it's within my area, because my office is out of Orland, I'll go right over,
yeah,
drop it.
absolutely. Again, this is a belly to belly business. You got to get in there. They got to know who you are. The phone gets you the appointment, but the appointment is what gets you the gig,
Yep.
right? So
Yes.
here, Roxana's saying, I don't know that I understand your first question here, Roxana. Did you ever consider these big names and companies advertising to bring you listings? If not, what made you push back?
So
What?
I've actually had billboards before. And that
No,
was really
but hang on. I want to know what she means by that question. Roxana, what do you mean?
So what I mean is basically like, the big names like Zillow and some of these companies advertising don't pay a penny until you close a deal for, with us. And they bring you basically clients, either, listing or buyers mostly. And then you pay when you close a deal with them.
So
Yeah,
no, I've never used any of them. I've never used Zillow. I did look into buying Zillow leads like 2 years ago, but I've never used it. What I will say is though, we have enough tools within our MLS that you really don't have to buy it, especially if you're a new agent. I say utilize the tools. We have Remind, we have Realist, we have Forewarn, all that good stuff where you can kind of like find people. I will say start there, even if you mail or drop something off to their home, because Remind, the MLS, all that will give you, the expireds and everything right then and there. So I've never personally used it. I do know agents that have used Zillow, and it takes a lot of nurturing of those relationships. But she's closed deals from Zillow, but none of the other ones, no.
I've certainly had some of my former students use these things, Roxana, but here's what you got to remember. Zillow is sending that lead to 10 agents, figuring one of them is going to get the deal and they'll get paid. They don't care if it's you or not. And it goes back to what I say all the time. is you got to learn to generate your own leads. Otherwise, you're leaving your business in somebody else's hands. And you never want to do that. You want to keep control of your business. And, as soon as you start abdicating to these companies who are going to sell you, if they turn it off, you're dead in the water. Right? So listen to what she's saying. There's many other tools available to us if you're just willing to do the work. All
Yep.
right.
Starting your, if you live in a subdivision, I say starting your subdivision. I've sold 4 homes in my subdivision. I've had my neighbors say, hey, I'm not going to use you. Okay, no hard feelings. But I've sold 4, and then, they list with the realtor who doesn't live in the subdivision, and, they're priced too high, and now they're on the market, and it's just like, this isn't going right. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I can't give you any advice, but just start going, just be the go-to person. It is a lot of tools that we have available, though.
And then in her second question said, I'd love to hear a pitch or two you say when the call gets connected, you currently have a strong sales background when you can use to introduce yourself. But what if the person doesn't have the strong sales background? Would cold calling still work?
Yes. I use Brandon Morinen's scripts.
So it's scripts, Roxana.
Yep.
That's what they're, if you don't have a background in this, get scripts. In this case, she's got scripts. You follow the script.
All the top dogs read from a script. It's all scripted.
Right. In fact, doesn't Mojo have the script that comes up on the screen?
Yep. It has the script that comes up on the screen. It'll be broken down if it's an expired, for sale by owner. I would say study the script though, because if you don't want to sound like you're, reading from a script, study it for 15, 20 minutes. Role play with someone else. It is overcoming those objections, but I think that still comes with time and just maybe selling too, so if someone would tell me, well, I'm going to relist with my old realtor, I always hit them with the, hey, so what are they going to do differently this time? What have they presented you? What's going to be different that you want to work with them again?
Which tool is this again?
So if you go on Instagram, his name is Brandon Morinen. He actually he gives you scripts, and he's a coach. And I'll type his name.
He has a platform where
It's reverse selling.
I think she's putting it in the chat box for you.
Yep.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Yeah, he's really good.
But here's the thing, Roxana. There are a ton of scripts out there.
Yep.
Almost every company will provide you your script. Put your Insta and your Facebook in there too. So these companies will provide you with a script. I mean, almost every single company I've worked for in the last 10 years, they have scripting for each of these various areas. And she's 100% right when she says practice. I'm not suggesting the script comes up and you go, hi, Roxana, this is Art with ABC Realty. How are you today? Pause. Okay, no. You've got to know the script well enough so it sounds like we're having a conversation, right?
Right.
Because this is a conversational thing. But some of the biggest challenges that people have with cold calling is they go, oh, I don't know what to say. Okay, well, here's what to say. Just follow the framework.
Yep.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not afraid of having the discussion with folks. It was more so, having that once you get through that script, then it becomes more of a conversation. And either they're going to be listening to you or they're just going to hang up, and then if they're going to be listening to you, what are the conversation? Because I'm assuming that it's not going to be script.
All right. No, it is scripted. That's where you're assuming wrong. It is. Darraneika, you calling Roxana as an expired. All right, Roxana, your house just expired yesterday. 8:30 the next morning. Go ahead, Darraneika.
Okay, so ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, Roxana.
Hey, speaking.
Hi, hi, Roxana. My name is Darraneika Lacy. I'm a realtor with Coldwell Banker. I'm a broker with Coldwell Banker Realty. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm well. I was giving you a call in regards to your property, 123 Main Street. I see that it's no longer being actively listed in the MLS, in our multiple listing service. When are you going to hire the right agent to, sell your home?
I am not interested at this time.
Okay, I understand you're not interested right now, Roxana, but may I ask why?
I just don't know, and this is not the time for it. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh, so you're going to be a jerk? Is that what you're going to do?
That's what
In
I'm
a
trying to
role
say. I
play,
know it's
you're going to
not
be a
all like
jerk?
pretty art. No, I want because I know if she's done it and she in the 3 weeks she got this, and this is the reason I'm asking her because she's an expert, like she knows. So
I
she
wouldn't
probably got all these jerks,
Hold on.
on the
I'm gonna
call.
keep going with you. So I understand right now is not the time, Roxana. Um, but can I schedule a time to give you a call back today that works for you? And also, can I drop off you some marketing material so that you can review it?
See, that probably sold me. I would be like, yeah, just fine. Let's just drop off the material and then I'll review it. And if it sounds if it aligns with what I have in mind, then I'm gonna call you back.
Okay. You don't have to be pushy though. If sometimes like depending on the mood I'm in, I don't try to go like toe to toe with the seller. That's
Yeah,
okay. I have some marketing material because I have a whole presentation for like expireds that I could just that I make it to a booklet as well. And I could drop it off. I could leave it on your door.
that's
And I put a
amazing.
thank you card in it, like, oh, thank you for my call, for taking my call. Or you could say, or if you want to start the conversation off, like, hi Roxana, um, what else do I usually say?
But
God.
you also got to keep, while she's thinking, you got to keep in mind, people, she's also going to get 10 calls that morning.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing. Like
Okay.
with all the spam calls, like you think like, okay, another spam. Well, no, sometimes I feel bad afterwards, but I just hang up. Like the person's still talking, I just, hang up. And I'm sure you probably got some of these too.
And
Um,
it's gonna
it's yeah, no hard feeling. But I'm really interested to hear about the booklet that you're talking about. That is very interesting.
let
And
me
I
see.
did not hear about it. I wonder like what is the how much do you spend on it? Is it something part of um your agency that you're with that they're covering or something you put together? Because this is really interesting. And I feel like if you drop this off at anyone's door, they would be really happy because
Let me
it's an
try.
agent that cares instead of someone just calling.
Let me try to pull it up. Hold on, I can share it with you.
I would say the other thing, and I would have said, had you said that to me, I'm not interested at this time, I would have said, like, look, is it okay if I clarify you're not interested in selling your home anymore? Or you don't have time at the moment to talk to me about getting your home sold?
Yep.
Roxana,
Yeah.
what's the answer?
Oh, you're asking?
Yeah.
Okay. I just honestly though, at that time getting like 8 calls, I would say I think I am still interested in selling, but I just don't know when.
Then that's when I would take the next step and say, you know what? Great. Why is it okay if I drop off? I've got some great materials about what's going on in the market. Is it okay if I drop that off? And if you want to have a conversation after that, we can.
Hmm.
Is that too pushy?
No,
Because
I wasn't
here's the
even
thing.
thinking about,
Here's the thing. You need to learn how to clarify
yeah.
why the person is saying. If they're like, when you're not, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in selling because they are. It just expired.
Yep.
They didn't
Mhm.
just give up. They didn't just go, oh shit, it didn't sell. I'm not interested anymore. They are interested in selling still. Or are you not interested in talking about it right at this moment? Can I make an appointment? Can I drop something off? Whatever your pathway is. I'm
Mhm.
talking while you're doing this, Darrenika. Whenever you're ready, just jump back in.
Yeah, I'm trying to download it right
Right.
now.
All right. And then I gave you the ability to share.
Okay.
So if you want to share your screen, you can. So my point though Roxana, is that you can't let them push you off the blocks. You've called with an idea, you've called with a situation, and she's calling to be helpful. And as long as she comes from that, and she said, I'm not going to be pushy, but you need to clarify that first thing out of the box. Are you still interested in getting your home sold? And sometimes people will say no. And you say, oh, have circumstances changed for you? And they will say, well, no, it's been such a long process and it sucked and then, whatever they're going to say. So that gives you, the broker, the opening to tell them how you're going to be different from the last situation that sucked. Right? All right, go ahead, Darraneika. Sorry.
So this is my expired presentation that I have. So it says my house didn't sell, now what? And then I have it like all laid out here, repricing, redesign, repositioning. I have some information about myself here. I have my photo. And then, like, what do people say? My real estate agent didn't keep his or her promises. Why did my neighbor's house sell as soon as it went up for sale? As soon as the agent got the listing, they disappeared. Why should I keep the house so clean if we aren't getting any offers? I don't care what the agent said. I know my house is worth more. There hasn't been an open house in over a month. Just everything that comes to their mind, I put it there. I didn't even know what the buyer's feedback was. And just information here. Selling is so stressful. The assessment of your previous listing, all of the questions they can go through. It's like a questionnaire. Here, the conditions, how many showings did they have? A lot of people don't know, because you can share all of this information with your seller. Your seller can have access to showing time, so that they know they can get the feedback as soon as it comes in. Why houses don't sell, condition, price, everything that they kind of like need to know. So this is what I drop off if your house expires and I can't get you on the phone, or if I say, hey, can I drop off some marketing material? Because this is nice too. Just like different stuff you can do.
Hi, you did this yourself online. This is something that you came up with. This
Yes.
Sharice. My name's Sharice.
Oh, hey, Sharice. So yeah, Canva.
Right, that's what I thought. Okay, yeah, this is something different. I never seen a real estate broker did this before. This is something new to the game.
Yeah, that's okay.
It really is.
Let's turn your expired listing into like a successful sale. So, I had one guy answer the phone and he was just like, yeah, house had just expired that day. And he was like, yeah, me and my wife are going to be interviewing people October 15th. I was like, he was like, what? He said, where are you located? I said, I'm in Orland Park. I work for Coldwell Banker Realty. Okay, that's fine, because I want somebody who's in Orland. Okay, my office is in Orland. I don't necessarily live in Orland, but okay. And I was like, well, okay, I understand you're not interviewing agents until the middle of October. Can I drop some off? Yes, you could drop some off. Okay. There you have it. And I dropped this off.
And did he decide to interview you?
Yes, he did. That's one of my 4 listings.
So there you go, right there.
Like, he had got a ton of calls, and, you're going to get people that's like over it, or if you don't feel like cold calling, dropping off that at the door. I wish I had one that was kind of like binded up, because it's like a book. Drop it off. You don't have to call. Be a little different, because yeah, it's a lot of people calling them in one day. Hit the door, like, okay, I'll go to the office some days and I'm like, I'm gonna make 30 of these, and I'm not coming back till all 30 is, gone. Depending on the area you want to work. I'm gonna make it a point to drop off so many.
And you make it at the office?
Yeah, Coldwell Banker allows us to print for free.
Okay, yeah, we have that too. That's amazing. Great job, seriously. I love that, and I've never seen it before. So, I have one more question. Instead of putting it in chat, Art, is it okay if I ask?
Yeah, of course. I was I'm opening it up to
Okay.
questions, so go ahead.
Awesome. So the question is, so now that you're called to go in for an interview, what would you say is the one thing or the one or two? There's probably, definitely there's plenty of them because you're successful. But what is the one or two that you would say that it kind of distinguished you from the rest of the people they interviewed and they decided to go with you instead? Maybe like what they said or what you picked up.
Mainly lately, it's been my marketing, and just being as detailed as possible. A lot of realtors miss. I know one thing that has also set me apart is I give them that information. So like, are you a realtor now?
Yeah.
So I use Info Sparks a lot. So Info Sparks, depending, you can like look in there, you can put the town, how many beds and baths they have, and give them like a realistic like market time. What's on the market, how many days, so that they can kind of like be mentally prepared. What homes are selling for. Show them the data that we have in the MLS so that you can just be, appear as knowledgeable. I just
Mhm.
present the facts to people, nothing that I'm making up. To like, I just want you to sign.
Yeah.
Everything for me is straight facts. I'm gonna tell you like, okay, um, so like it's a big subdivision where I live, in Plainfield, and a lot of the homes are selling. I'm like, okay, you have this is probably going to be the type of buyer you're going to get. So you're probably going to have like a FHA buyer. If we get a conventional buyer, great. The home across the street, your neighbor, they gave that person $5,000. That means the buyer that's coming to your door may want a credit, so that when things are happening throughout the transaction, it's not
Mhm.
like, well, why do I have to give up money? Or why are they asking for this? It's the same information, it's the same process with your neighbor. Yeah, they may have sold for 425, but maybe they gave that person a $15,000 credit. And when I go to like my listing appointments, I have those MLS sheets that shows, okay, they gave out a concession. Be prepared that you may have to give out a concession. This is the type of buyer you may have. If you get a conventional buyer or you make it an FHA buyer. But if it's majority FHA, you know who's coming through the door.
Mhm. Mhm.
Everything else is like a plus.
Yeah. And you have the printouts for your presentations and stuff. Is it anything like in particular or different, such as the ones you showed, or is it what most of the agents like us are used to, which is like a printout from MLS and maybe like couple
So
of
I do have like seller presentations, but that we can send that through Coldwell. It's called Moxie. So like I can send you like a seller presentation and it'll have like all of the homes that I'm using as like comps, or I'll print it out and print it in a book. It just all depends on like
yeah,
how I kind
the
of like
type.
approach the situation as well. Um, but yeah,
Great stuff.
thank
Well,
you.
here's the thing too. Most of your companies should have the templates
They
Yep.
do.
do all of these things. Now,
Mhm.
obviously, she created in Canva her own expired,
Mhm.
but I'm guessing you didn't pull all of that out of your head. You looked at
No.
other templates and you created your own. And so that's the point, is that Canva's great for doing that kind of stuff, but your company should be providing you for certain with the listing presentation.
Mhm.
I'm guessing now, since August 17th, and well before a year ago, right now, they've started giving people buyer agent representation
Mhm.
presentations, because now you've got to ask your buyer to be able to have them sign an exclusive buyer agency agreement, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to need the materials for yourself that resonates with yourself to be able to hand out and makes you unique from the other people in your area.
Yeah. Yeah, we do have Canvas too, and I do use that quite often for the social media. So it's a great tool. Yeah, and I love how smart you were about coming up with that expired listing presentation. Um, if it's
Let's see
not
if there's any.
patent, if
Wait,
it's
let's see
not
if
patent,
anybody
we're
else.
really good.
Okay, anybody else got questions for Darraneika? Because Roxana wants a personal coaching call here now.
And I'll share it too if you want to make it your own. I mean, we all work different areas, so I have no problem with sharing. I think it's a great thing. I also have like a listing presentation box, so sometimes I'll drop those off too.
So if you want, that was very kind of you to offer to share it. If you want it, you put your email in the chat box right now, and our Darraneika, I'll provide you with the list, or
This Sharice again. I'm about to put mine in.
Okay.
I'm on the west side of Chicago.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Oh, I have even like a pre-foreclosure. So like, yeah, I'm nosy. I be in people business too. So like let me see if I can find like my pre-foreclosure.
just got to be careful about pre-foreclosure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
You got it. People are sensitive,
Very
as they should be, and so you got to be careful how you approach that.
yeah.
So we have 23 people on here, and I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of you, not even half. Somebody's offered you a free resource, and only 9 of you have stepped up and said, yes, I'd love it. I would guess the 9 are people who are already in the business and know how long it takes to put something like this together.
Oh yeah, wait till you guys see this. If you think the expireds is everything, wait till you see my pre-foreclosures. Hold on, let me
By the way, if we have people in the meeting tonight that aren't currently in classes or haven't been in classes, as we go forward, if you're thinking about taking our class, our next accelerated class starts on Monday the 28th. So that's the 2-week class, Monday through Thursday, 2 weeks, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Get in and out and go pass the state exam. My next night class, which is the last night class of the year, November 11th through December 16th. That's the last night class. And if you use the discount code Mastermind, I'll put it in our thing, you will be able to get a discount on our normal, off of our normal $597. So use Mastermind and get in one of those 2 classes. By the way, that code's only good for the next 24 hours. So if you're interested, hop on it. Even if you're not sure you could be in one of those 2, just do our anytime class, and then you could choose whichever class you want to come to over the next 6 months.
And you'll pass in the first try.
Thank
you. It's art.
Listen to what I'm saying. That's all I ask.
So this is my foreclosure. I dropped this off as a booklet too. So Coldwell Banker, the location I'm at, they push like booklets. If you're gonna take your time and do all this, they want it in a book. So this is what I will drop off to you if I find out that you're in foreclosure. So it's very detailed. So this is the front page. This is what you will see. Just have like what is foreclosure, process, mortgage foreclosure explained, saving your equity, because a lot of people still have equity even once they foreclosure. And it just breaks it all down so that you just want them to call you, the process. And this is a book that I'll drop off.
Here's the thing, you got to be careful. Not about dropping stuff off, but about knocking on the door. That's illegal. To knock on the door and ask, hey, I saw you were in foreclosure, pre-foreclosure.
I dropped this off.
You can't do that.
Well, I have a question.
All right.
How is that illegal to knock on the door?
It's to knock on the door and talk to them about them being in pre-foreclosure. If you knock on the door and you said, I understand you're in pre-foreclosure, bam, it's illegal in Illinois. Can't do it, Gustavo.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You're welcome to knock on the door and say, hi, I'm Darraneika, or I'm Gustavo. I'm in the neighborhood, and I'm inviting you to an open house. Nothing illegal about that. If you reach out and tell them, you knock on the door, now you're in pre-foreclosure, That's illegal. Can't do it.
And you don't want them to get like angry with you. They're already like going through a lot mentally. So I just drop it off. A lot
Yeah.
of my
Okay.
I have a quick question.
All right. Thank you.
Go ahead,
Sure.
Teresa.
Do you sometimes email it to them? Would they prefer you to email it instead of dropping it off?
So on the expireds or the
Foreclosure.
The market, the market that you say you drop off the booklet,
for the foreclosures?
that and the first one that you had mentioned that you did on Canvas.
Oh, so like the expires, yeah, I drop those off all day.
Oh,
Foreclosure,
okay.
and I'll email it too if I have your email. If I'm going through my Invoke It 7 or in Mojo, if I see their email, I'll email it to them. But foreclosures, no, I always just I just drop it off. They're at home.
Oh, okay.
So you
Okay.
don't make a call, you just drop it off for
I
foreclosure?
just drop it off. Yep.
Because again, think about it, Roxanne. These people
Right. That's
inundated with the just everybody knocking on their door, people, and if you could just be sort of the soft sell, hey, let me provide you some information. And
Mhm.
when she provides them the information, then if they're interested, they're going to hang on to that, and her name's all over that, right?
And yeah, and even if they don't use you, sometimes it's just they need to be educated, you know, on the options and the resources they have. Because I've even went to like foreclosure court, and sat down through the whole process just to like learn about it. And then at the end, the judge allowed me to ask him some questions and see, and he was like, realtors don't show up like and ask.
Yep. All right, who else has got a question? Nobody else? How is that possible? Roxana can't be the only one.
I have a question.
See, I knew Lourdes would.
I am Lourdes. Yeah, I would like to know how you choose the company that you will work for. What you see on them? What do you recommend?
So I'll be honest to you, when I first started, I was just kind of like going with the flow. Like for me, like I always tell people, when you're new in real estate, you don't really know kind of what you need. It's gonna be like a learning process. I know some people start at the big box. Like I said, I started at a small boutique, and the more my business grew, I was like, yeah, this is not working for me. Um, I need a little more. And then I went to EXP, which is, the newest big box. And then with the recent changes last year, I was like, oh, I got to go to like a household name. This year, I was like, I got to go to a household name. I need to be with someone who knows, who's been around a long time. And when I call you or if I step to you, you're not second guessing who I am, because it's just so much going on, a lot of smaller brokerages. And like, what is your immediate need? So for me, I want to be easily recognizable. Coldwell Banker, been around for ages. They're not going anywhere. They're keeping up with technology. They're doing great. So that's always how it's been for me.
Okay,
But,
thank you.
but again, Lourdes, not every brokerage is for everyone.
It is not.
It
It
all
is.
depends on what your goals are, what
Mhm.
your needs are. And obviously, she recognized her needs had changed and she decided to make a shift. But she did it based on the knowledge of where she wanted to take her business, not necessarily, oh, who's going to take me? No,
Yep.
no. She could have walked in to any brokerage in the city and they would have taken her like that with the experience that she has, with the production that she has.
Yeah,
Right?
I had people calling me. I had Remax. Before I switched to Coldwell, Remax was trying to recruit me very heavily. And I was just like, I don't know if Remax is for me. Um, and then you'll learn too. Like the more you sell, it was just like, I don't know. Sometimes like, is she trying to like the manager broker was trying to like fast talk me too? Like, yeah, it sounds good, but like what do you guys truly offer? You know, like you'll learn to get to that nitty gritty. Like, is this really gonna align to like how I'm trying to grow my business?
Danica, this is Kelly.
Mhm.
You've done a great job, by the way, with
Thank you.
going through your information and explaining stuff. With that question that was just asked to you, could you elaborate a little bit more without getting into too much detail? Like what was the reason why, like you said, the boutique was not working, that you've got to go better? And then EXP was not working, you had to go better. Like what were some of the brief reasons
So
that you
like the small boutique brokerage, it really just comes down to the resources. You know, there is probably like 30 agents at a boutique brokerage, if 30, you know. Um, and you know, you have your top producing agents at those brokerages. And when you're new, sometimes you just need a little more. And I knew that I could do really well because I'm like, man, I'm not having any issues getting clients. What is it? And I was like, you know, it's time for me to take my talents elsewhere. Maybe I had outgrown it too, you know. Um, and it was just time for a change. And then when I went to EXP, it was very fast paced. I had learned enough that I could kind of like keep up. They had, you know, great resources. At EXP, they have like a downline. So it's very important on who downline you join. So, Art, are you still with EXP?
Yes.
Yeah, so art is a great downline because ultimately it just affects your success. Like they would have like morning like calls, the downline I was on, and we, you know, we would talk about business. They would bring different people on, business planning. I had never did business planning until I went to EXP. How hard you want to work, how much money you want to make, what does that look like? Um so when I did it you know, that year, I was like, wow. I think the guy's downline I was on, he made me like write a letter to my kids, like explaining why I hadn't like met like my income goals and what stopped me. And the more I thought about the letter, the harder I worked. I'm like, I'm not gonna tell my kids I'm lazy or like I want to do everything, you know? And like I said, but Colwell was just more so with all the settlement changes and all that good stuff. I was just like, I need to just go household, old school, that is still around, but keeping up with everything.
But then again, that was a personal choice for you.
Yep.
It was no negative on EXP. It was
No,
just
no negative on EXP. Like I said, I had capped with EXP. I almost hit icon with EXP. So I did fairly well. EXP is a great company, but I just needed where you want to take your business sometimes, and depending on the people you're dealing with too, they want to be like, oh well, she works for, you know, Coldwell Banker, you know, they're like, oh okay, not like, well, who do you work for, you know, because you'll get that too. Especially newer companies or boutiques. It's different. You'll have a very different experience. Thank you, Quintella. I'm telling you guys, you can do it. I've had some great times in real estate. Some
somebody
really
said somebody said, have either one of us had any experience with Berkshire Hathaway? Did you end up interviewing with them?
No, I've never interviewed with them. I don't even know anyone that's with them, honestly.
Yeah, I know a couple of people, a couple of former students are there. Here's the thing, Miani. You want to go and interview with the companies that interest you,
Yep.
but don't say yes until you've done a few of them, right?
Very,
Because they're going to push to get you to join their company. And
yes.
again, it might not be the right company for you, right? So you need to make sure that you set up your appointments and you honor the appointments that you set up. You go through, you ask the 54 questions, and then you walk away from it, because some of these people are really, really good about getting you excited about joining their company. And then it turns out it's not exactly what they were talking about.
And what I
Gotcha.
will say, even if you make the wrong choice the first time, do not beat yourself up. You learn from that, take that experience that you learned, and apply it when you go to your next brokerage. You now know, like, well, that's not gonna work for me. Like I said, Remax, the manager broker, she still calls me to this day to come over.
And they're not going to stop.
They're
I
not.
mean, you're a great producer, so that's what these companies will recruit, is people who already know the business. You know, part of the challenge that you guys have, the new people have, right? The people who are just getting into the business, is you need to get that training. Darraneika was lucky. She had that training early on, the hand holding from the boutique agency to the point where she sold $2 million in her first year, right?
Yeah.
But then as she wanted more, as she put herself in line with the new company, or at the time EXP, and they held her hand, but she didn't need as much hand holding.
Nope.
And so that's what you've got to think about is when you start, you're going to get a lot of companies that are going to be like, yeah, we'll give you 90%, we'll give you 100%. Those companies aren't in this business for you. They're in their business for them.
And I will honestly say, if I could go back to a new agent, my managing broker, she always used to say, my first managing broker, and I did not understand it at this time because, like I said, I was a mom of two and I needed a paycheck. Okay. I was doing payroll for ADP. She would always tell us to learn the business, the money will follow. The last thing you want to do when you're out here working real estate is be a disservice to your clients.
Yep. Learn the business.
Learn the business and the money will follow. And once you learn it, you're like, oh man, because I still take like training classes and stuff too. I'm still like, okay, let me go refresh on that. Anything that they have in regards to the buyer, when all this stuff was going on with the settlement, I was showing up to like everything. So like all of the changes, I was like, okay, they're doing this, they're doing that. You just want to be in the know.
And Darraneika, I've been saying in class for the last 4 or 5 months that we are at an evolution point in our industry where people coming in, it's much more of a level playing field now, because everybody has to get a buyer's agency agreement. Everybody has to get it, whether you're new, whether you're old. And the people who have been in business a while, who aren't taking the time to train themselves about how to ask for that, well, they're no better than a brand new agent who now knows how to ask for it. In fact, you're better because you're going to learn the new way and you're not fighting with yourself about the old way.
Yep, that is true. Honestly, I like the new way. You're more control of your income as a buyer's agent. I've always, because my first manager broker, she's always had us do like exclusive buyer agreements. So this was nothing new to me. But I wasn't feeling like, I was like, okay, I'm getting a 2.5% from the MLS. I'm cool. Like, yep, I'm getting paid. But now I'm like, I've learned the business so much. I'm like, I'm worth a little more. So I like that. I feel like I can get what I'm worth these days.
And you get it from your buyer client because you
Yep.
can show them how you'll walk them through this entire process.
You're more in control of your income. So versus when I was selling real estate and the commission was already in the MLS, you could break down how many $300,000 houses you got to sell to get to your $100,000. That's how it used to be before this, but being in control of your income is the main thing. They say you got to like list to last. So the listed agents were making, all the big bucks.
Well, they were making some of the big bucks.
Yeah.
Somebody had to bring in buyers, right?
Yep.
All right, Emily, do you have a question?
Yes, I would like she like to be more like a listing agent, sorry.
Yes. I do want to be more of a listing agent.
Okay. And what do you think that was or is the best school for you when you start like if you for all the company that you go walk through, what is that teach you more or do you think that was the best experience for you?
So I did interview with a couple of different agencies when I first started. And I just will honestly say, as a new agent, I did not know what I needed other than I needed a paycheck. I had spent so much money just getting started. Um, I just was like, yeah, okay. She has, you know, a lot of people over here. I'm gonna go over here. She's a great trainer. Let's go over here. You know, I just feel like that's why I said, even if your first brokerage, later on down the line, you sell a couple of homes, you realize this is not for me. Don't beat yourself up, because honestly, even with Art's 54 questions, I still felt like I didn't know what I needed. It's like little small stuff that you'll feel like, yeah, I need this or I need that. But it's when you're getting down to that nitty gritty and it's 10 o'clock and you got a question and your managing broker ain't answering the phone, or you can't get nobody on the phone and you're like, yeah.
Now with the experience that you have, where do you start? If you need to start again, how do you start?
If I could be a brand new agent day one with all of the information that I have now, I would go big box right away.
Big bucks?
Yep. If like for someone like I had no experience, I had no one I could call, I would go straight to a big box brokerage.
The big name brokerages is what she's
Big
saying.
name. Big name.
Okay.
The Remaxes, the Colwells, the Keller Williams, EXP. I would go there. I would go with the big box people. I do think
Okay.
smaller boutiques is something you can swing once you've been out there for a while. But as a new
Got
agent
it.
who may not have like that direction, or you just need like a specific type of support, I would definitely go big box.
Got it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, who else has got a question? Anybody?
I have a couple, if nobody.
All right, go ahead.
So, you did mention, during that, you do attend trainings and, that's how you try to get in the market and be in the know. Beside that, are there any specific platforms that you are, a member of, or I would say maybe like first thing in the morning, is there any website you open to see what the market is, or like what is your?
So I get all of the Inman updates. I get all of the
Okay.
updates. I am subscribed to that. I get that every day. I check the MLS every day. I have it set up where anything that's expired within areas that I want to work, it's in my MLS every day, outside of like just dialing. But other than that, no.
Yeah, that's great.
So here's, just so you know, here's my recommendation on that. In addition to Inman, which there is a cost for Inman, right? I use KCM, Keeping Current Matters.
Oh yeah, Keep It Current Matters is another good one. So I pull information from there for like my newsletters.
Yeah. They give you infographics, they give you, so the biggest challenge, Roxana, is, we've seen what's going on in our country in terms of people polarized by news media, right? And let's face it, all of us, I don't care what your political affiliation is, but all of us have, a news source that we go to for our news. And I figured out when the whole, NAR, not only did when the settlement came up, when they decided to settle, I realized how uninformed most of the news platforms are. They don't know how this business runs, right? And so I would listen to their stupid reporting and go, that doesn't make any sense. What you're saying, the big banner headlines, real estate, all sellers' properties are going to go down 6% because now they don't have to pay for brokers. Completely bogus. Okay.
Right.
So what you need is a source for, and no one is enough, is what I figured out. No one is enough, but not all of us have time to go look at all these things.
Yeah.
So what KCM does is it aggregates a lot of the indexes so that it shows you what kind of stuff you're going to, what's going on, and they'll bring in, 6 or 8 different indexes to get you to understand what's going on in these from these different indexes, and then they give you kind of a summary of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I found that to be really, really helpful, and they give you so much information that you can share with your clients. I mean, some people are like, I don't know what to put on social media. They give you posts, they give you infographics. I mean, really, I've been very impressed with what they've done. So
Thanks, Art. I'll
that's
definitely get a membership of that too.
a great resource to have.
Mhm.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is a good resource. I forget about them.
And then the MLS too. Like
Yeah.
Darraneika said, you've got to take all the classes and you've got to do the work and you've got to understand when everything, probably after, COVID, 220, was it April 2022? We started to have to get very granular in our markets,
Mm-hmm.
in what neighborhoods. So I'm sure you do this, Darraneika. I'm sure you go to the MLS, and if you're looking to help somebody buy or sell in a particular area, you get down to that area
Oh yeah.
and you figure out how many have been sold in the last year, and you figure out what's the absorption rate every month, and you take a look at what's available now. So let's say pick an area, Darraneika, just a small area. Pick one. Give me a name.
Ooh, like a small little town. Maybe like a Bellwood.
All right, so Bellwood. Let's say Bellwood, she does a year, and it says there are 240 sales that closed last year in Bellwood.
Mhm.
Okay, 240 divided by 12 is the absorption rate in Bellwood is about 20 homes per month, right? And what's the price point and all that. And then Darraneika takes a look and says, well, right now there is 47 homes on the market in Bellwood. So she knows that's 2.5 months of inventory. And that's it in Bellwood right now. So that is a seller's market in Bellwood. Because if you put your house on the market, it's probably going to sell in the next 30 days, if not sooner, if you're priced appropriately for the type of home that you have. By you having that information, while it's available to every broker, there are a lot of brokers that suck at this and don't do their homework. So if you're the one doing the homework and you can say, look, Mr. Seller, here's what's going on in the marketplace. And not just the all over Chicagoland marketplace. Here's what's going on in Bellwood.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you guys something. And this is Info Sparks, and I pulled up Bellwood. So for like, and I do this with my buyers too. Like if I'm having like a buyer's consultation, and people like, well, I want, what do they want? Like a seller's credit or something like that. If maybe they're getting outbidded and they're like, well, why? And you could say, well, according to the market, the homes are selling at the average home in the area you want to live in is selling at 100% asking price.
Or a little bit above.
Or a little bit above. The month supply, what do they have? It's a seller's market, 1.8. Volume is low.
I wasn't too far off, was I there?
No. The average market time, 64 days. Or median, 29 days. It all depends.
But look at the difference from last year to this year. Just look at it.
Yep.
I mean, that's last year. It was in 2023 and 2024, the market time dropped in half, over in half.
Yep.
You see that?
I always say that MLS is one of the great tools out there. It's not like a platform that it's always underrated.
It is.
Agents, I mean, I'm learning a lot from you and Art tonight in regards to MLS. I've been in there to the point I'm pulling the reports and stuff too, but not to this extent. So I'm glad that I'm here tonight to learn. maybe like since we're talking about MLS, so if if a buyer comes and says, I want to invest my money in real, I want to buy a second home and rent it out, but I want to make sure that I don't have any specific place in mind. I want to do it in a place that's growing, and it had about, 4% increase in the rate, and it's on a rise. Do you go back to this MLS and try to put in different towns, or how do you go about it?
I really would try to get like town specific with them though. Like, okay, so like in reality, where do you want to go?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's cool, you're open, but where do you want to be? And then yeah, I will pull all of this information for them.
Mm-hmm.
I share this information with both buyers and sellers so that I can, my main goal is I like to be very transparent, paint that picture, because sometimes they'll feel like we're not working hard enough on their behalf, but it's the market you want to buy in. It's the area you want to live in.
Yeah.
That can also ultimately like make or break your deal.
Well, budget too, though. I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh, okay, and this is good too. So that's a good question too, Roxana. So in here, in Info Sparks, like if you had a seller that say, hey, I want to buy something in Plainfield, and do like a rental, you can, in Info Sparks, you can see the bedrooms, like what's most popular. Like even if you had to resell that property for them, like what will sell quicker? Like if it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, how fast it's flying off the market. And you can do like graphics and stuff in here and present it to them as well.
That's amazing. I'm definitely gonna get in there and play around.
Yep.
and for the
Found
rest
my
of you,
joy.
that's all part of your MLS
Yeah.
subscription. The tools she's talking about, Remind, InfoSparks, that's all there. Also, do they still have Cloud CMA, or did I hear they changed it?
They still have it. I don't use it. It's kind of cheesy now, Art.
Is it? I
Yeah, I
I
don't like
actually
it.
like to use it. I like to go back and forth to see what it shows me versus the one straight up off the MLS, because the one off the MLS is sort of utilitarian, where the other one is like, ooh, But you do this every day, so listen to the queen here, man.
All right.
Yeah, it's kind of cheesy.
Do you pay for the is I'm saying it right, MLS?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
multiple listing service. Sharice, what in life don't you pay for?
Oh yeah, you definitely pay for it.
Oh, okay. No, I thought it like come with the company who you work for.
No, it comes with the association.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
When you join an association, you're part of what you're paying for is the MLS.
Got it. Okay.
That's why it's not available to just anybody. Okay. But it is available to real estate brokers who are part of an association, and then you get access to the MLS.
So let me show you, Roxanne. Hold on, and I'll show you. So like if I had an investor that probably asked me that question, this is what I'm gonna have to do it. Sometimes I hate having a MacBook. I'm gonna show
That's why I
you.
never switched.
Okay, so this is what I would show that investor, right? So you see
Yeah.
here, 2 bedrooms over the years, and this is just for September. This is the growth for the 2 bedrooms, and this is single family homes. Anything from 1,000 to 2,000 square feet. 3 bedrooms, the growth here. 4 more, kind of like all, however you want it broke down. And then if you go bigger, the growth is here.
That's amazing.
Yep.
See, this is how you convince them. I got my answer.
Yeah, so that's why I say I don't use the tools. Don't make it up. A lot of agents, they don't use this. They're just going in winging it. We have so much that's free. This it's all here. It's all compiled data. Even if I'm looking for a listing, if you don't want to work too hard in a neighborhood and you like, well, what are people, and you can look at the market time too by the bedrooms. Okay, 2 bedrooms flying off the shelf in 2024. 3 bedrooms, you're gonna be sitting. 4 more, 17 days, So it just all depends. Like
Or sitting is relative. 19 days isn't really sitting
yeah,
that long.
It's not sitting that long, but this is
But
just
You're talking
compared
not even
to,
3 weeks.
yeah,
yeah.
but that's just more so transparency. So when they get to talking, well, my neighbor's house next door, okay, let me pull that up in MLS. Oh, she was a three bedroom, 2 bath. Okay, this is why. This is what the
Yeah.
market is doing. She should have
Last
sold.
year and this year.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent tool.
That's amazing. Yeah. It's so maybe like it's interesting to share about. I want to be mindful of everyone's time too, but it's so interesting that I more and more come across agents who do give access to Zenlist to their clients, where they go out and they find a property to just send it them, their way, and all they do is just like put in the key and open the door and do not even criticize. So I had one person that I wish I knew them like sooner. I would definitely be their agent, but they were looking for a cap $500,000 property, and they taught through this. They knew this is the max they can do for their life to make sense, to not go broke like in 2 years. So the agent apparently gives them the access to Zenlist and set up whatever she does is to for the properties for up to 300,000 above their max to be sent their way. Like, first of all, what agent does that unless they don't care about you? And then this couple fall in love with a property that's $200,000 over their budget, and they ended up closing it. The agent did not even come back and say, we sat down and we talked about this, this is the reason you guys had it at 500,000. I just want to make sure that we don't get too excited, because obviously the more you pay, the more you have, but we just have to be mindful. Nope. She just went into the property with them. That's all. And then she pushed and pushed and pushed to close it even less than 30 days. So they don't change their mind. That's what I see. And I truly, it just hurts me to see that.
Just don't be that agent.
There you go.
Yeah, that's exactly me too. And that's why that's what I always tell my clients. I'm not obviously like I look up to you, Darraneika, to be like you, like in yours, but I do have my full-time job where, I do, but on the side, I do real estate for passion, and I love doing it. And I'm not in it for the money. So that's what I tell my, clients too. I'm like, if I give you an advice, I'm giving it out of heart, and I'm giving it based on facts. I'm not saying it because I'm not here to just sell and leave.
Exactly.
And
You don't
I,
treat it like a transaction. But one thing you're gonna learn, when you're selling, a lot of people treat their clients like a transaction.
yeah,
It becomes very transactional. And like I tell people, we become family. Like, people start sharing a lot of stuff with you. 30 days is short, but you learn a lot in 30 to 45 days.
I'm
That's
sure.
all I will say. You become the go-to.
Yeah, I'm sure.
100%. Again, this business is about building relationships for the long term. When I first started, there was a couple of agents that had been in the business probably 30 years when I started, and they were getting second and third generations buying from them because they sold the parents, they sold their kids, and now they were selling the grandkids. That's a sustainable business model for you over your life. I mean, I am thrilled for Darraneika that 50% of her sales come from referrals.
A lot of people refer me.
Yeah, the bat. I mean, and that means no marketing.
Nope.
She's not paying for any of those people. And Darraneika, 50% of your business, but what percentage of the people that get referred to you do you actually do business with?
All of them. Like, even if even if it's like a listing, like, I'm just, I still go prepare. I still give them all
Yeah.
of the same information, because I want you to know, like, I have your best interest at all times. But most of the time I walk in the door, it's mine. Like they know they want to work with me. It's not like I'm overcoming these hurdles or anything like that. Like I display enough value that they just know like, okay, well, they had a great experience with you. Well, come on over. Bring
Yeah.
your
And the best business for you to get, is to get to about the 75% mark where your business is coming in through that, and that lowers your marketing costs. I mean, you're still going to want to market because you're always going to want new people coming into your sphere as people move and die, right? But that's a great business to have, and you're getting there at 50% of your business in 4 years comes from referrals. That tells you the work she's doing for people,
Mhm.
and it's amazing. So we could keep doing this all night, but she does have 2 children,
Yeah.
and Roxana seems to need a lot of
Roxana, reach out to me
I
anytime.
I just love, networking and communicating. That's what I do for a living. Like otherwise it's gonna be lonely because I
Reach out to me. You guys
Yeah.
can call and ask me anything. Text me. I don't care. Like I'm an open
put
book.
your number in the chat box. If you're going to make that offer, you
I'm
better put
telling you, look, if you want to come to the office one day and listen to me cold call, if you could, work from home or anything, like, yeah, it's a group of us that does this at our office too. So like I have no issue. Like if you want to see, I don't
very
gate
generous of you.
I don't gatekeep. It's enough business for all of us. And I tell people all the time, like real estate just changed my life. I'm never quitting. I've had some great success with real estate and I don't talk about it. It's good. It gets great. If you work it, it will be great. I tell people all the time, and I'll be very transparent. One Last year in July, I made $50,000 in 1 month. That changed the trajectory for my family. Like I worked hard for it, but I was like, I'm doing this forever. I'm doing this here forever.
And you control your own time, don't you?
Yes. So do not give up. No, it could, start off slow, but just keep going. It gets greater and greater. The more, if you keep working it, you're gonna be happy. And
So
I'm
dealing
about $50,000 after commission splits.
So,
I have
go ahead.
Awesome.
I have a quick question. This is Sharice again.
Wait. Somebody else before you.
I think it was
I tap. Who was that?
Oh, that was Brittany.
Brittany, go
So
ahead.
with dealing with Brittany. So with dealing with real estate, so do you have to have a car? Is it necessary?
It depends on the area you want to work. If you're gonna be a downtown agent, I don't know how hard it would be. But yeah, you do want to have a car. I know some people, they make enough money, they like people to drive them around. It just all depends. It all depends on how busy you're gonna get. I would definitely say you want to be flexible, and have your own vehicle for your clients. But I know realtors that takes Ubers. I mean, all of our situations, it all starts off differently. It is
Okay.
All right,
they will show up in an Uber.
Charisse, you've got the last question because, like I said, we really, really need to let Darraneika go. But go ahead.
Okay. Like when you first started off, was you still working your
Yeah,
9 to 5 job?
yep,
Like,
I was still working. I worked at ADP. I did payroll. I got fired. That was the best thing they could have ever did for me. Fired me and let me go. And yeah, I worked. I still work and I was working real estate, but it's no in between. I know they say you could do real estate part-time, but it's really like full-time, even if you're trying to do it
okay.
part, because it becomes consuming when you're working a deal. Sometimes it's a lot going on. It's a lot of moving parts,
Okay.
but it can be done. I've done it with the newborn at the time. You just need a great support system. Lean on people if you have them, and just stay open minded. Like it all works. I've been there where I was like, man, I just need a commission check. I'm not trying to hear what this lady talking about. Give me the money. Um, so I understand both sides. I really do.
If you were able to do it with ADP, because I used to work there, it sucks. I know the hours. I know it's, and if you were able to do it with ADP, it definitely says a lot.
I'm telling you, I had a book of business of like 45 clients, and then some days I would just, I'm like, my mind is shot when I'm leaving. And yeah, but I'm telling you guys, real estate is it's great. I've done other things that real estate, using my money from real estate has allowed me to do. Just stay with it. This is your journey. Embrace it. Take it all in, learn from it. Don't compare your success to anyone else's. I never would have thought I would have made that much money in real estate. And I used to be in a room with like some women that were selling like hundreds of houses. So when you hear them talking about the money you're making, you're like, man, I'm never gonna make it. And when I did it, I was just like, okay, they not lying. Okay,
When
it's
you're
just
done,
What, Chiquita?
don't beat me up. Hi, Art. Hey, happy Thursday, everybody. I'm late coming in. I'm sure it sounds like you gave out some great information. So my apologies. I just made it in from work, but I would love if I could connect with you. Thank you for saying you don't gatekeep, because I ain't gonna lie to you, Art. I was ready to give up because everything that's going on, life is lifing, right? But I want to stick. I want to stick with it. I didn't get in it to quit. So if I can reach out to you, that would be great. Fantastic. All right. So just wanted to say that because I missed a lot.
I'm putting my number back in the chat. And if you have a pen and paper, I can just give it
Yep.
out to you.
I have it. I have it.
It's 630
Mm-hmm.
835
Yeah.
2468.
Perfect. Thank you so much again.
Oh, you're welcome. Like, call me, guys. I'm telling you. Like,
Don't
I
call her between 8:30 and 12:30.
get down to the nitty-gritty. Oh yeah, I even like I have like my mom trained now. She'll call me like, "Oh, what are you doing?" "I'm at work. Is anyone dying?" "Okay, I'll call you back."
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Is anything going on? "Oh, okay, gotta go. Bye."
Anybody bleeding?
Right.
Right.
All right. Well, I think, Darraneika, you've been so generous with your time and with your information. And come on, guys, right? Didn't she blow you all away? You see why I
Very
think,
good.
Yeah, she did.
Absolutely.
Yes. She
right?
did.
I mean, she just really, let's give her one big yes, Gaga, right? One,
Yes.
two,
Gaga.
three.
Yes.
Yes.
Gaga.
You guys are all gonna do great. I'm telling you. Do not give up. Do
I
not.
received that. Thank you.
I say it for motivational purposes. It truly gets greater and greater. And you just have to work it. Like, don't treat it. I like to tell people, if you treat real estate like I just need to pay my light bill, that's what you're gonna
No.
get. Light bill, treat it as if you needed to pay every bill. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You just need to you just need it to work for you. Like, this is it. I get up and
Yeah.
real estate every day. Like, I tell people I wake up every day unemployed. I can't come back home.
Yes.
But good start to the day. Your bank account is empty every morning.
Every morning I wake up unemployed. I don't have any work today. So I have to go find it.
Yes, you do. Well, thank you very much, Darraneika. I greatly appreciate you jumping in, sharing your experience with our crew. Some of you have been in class before. Some of you are currently in class. Some of you better get to class. So use that mastermind. Some of the people that are here that are currently in classes, the goal doesn't change to get you past the state exam. You don't get to do anything that Darraneika's doing until we can get you to pass that state exam. And there's no quitting. There's no quitting.
And more motivation.
That's right.
The 50K month was not when interest rates were low. Okay. It was not when the rates were low. So no 2021, 2022. Okay. It was real estate. Stressed out.
Wow.
Right. So it's a great time to get in this business. being October, you've got this fourth quarter to kind of learn the business and hit the ground running into 2025. And seriously, any dream number you can have is doable.
Yep.
It's doable if you just do the work. That's all it is.
Yeah.
You know, everybody can succeed. Everybody. Nobody can say, oh, I'm not, I'm not this, or I'm not that, or she's not this or that, or they can make excuses, or you can make money. What do you want to do? People, what do you want to
Make
do?
the money.
Make money.
Make
Baby.
some money, baby.
That-
That's right.
Do
All
right.
right, friends.
You guys will be
Thanks.
great.
Thanks, Darraneika, and thanks, Art,
Welcome. Call
Our
me.
pleasure.
Guys.
for sure.
Our
Yeah.
pleasure. Absolutely.
Great job. Thanks, Darraneika.
Right.
Thanks, Art.
Welcome.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks,
Thank you
Art.
all
Good
for
night,
coming.
everyone.
So
Bye.
much.
Bye-bye.
All right,
Hey,
bye.
Art, I
Good
sent you an email.
Who's
Good
that?
night.
Kelly.
Thanks.
Kelly, what'd you send me?
I sent you an email.
Okay, I'll take a look for it.
Okay, thank you.
I'll get back to you.
Okay, bye-bye.
I'm
All right.
hungry.
Thanks, Darraneika. I really appreciate it. As always, fabulous.
Thank you. Bye.
All right,
Thanks for
take care.
having me.
My pleasure.
Hi,
Thank you.
guys.
All right, squad. See if you call me if you need me. Good night.